Oh, I'm Clark Crawford, and welcome back to the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. Talking Astros baseball, of course, here on my YouTube channel, as the Astros currently sit at 49 and 44 on the year. But I'm going to take you back to last weekend against the Minnesota Twins, as I missed because of the hurricane here in Houston. I had some other things to take care of, but everything's good, everything's dandy. And we're going to take you back to a quick look back at the Astros versus Twins series, then do a quick recap of the Astros versus Marlins, and then I'll take you through the series against the Rangers, which begins tonight. So, with all that being said, let's jump right in. The Astros faced the Twins last weekend in Minnesota. They took the first game of the series, the bullpen game. Sean Dubin started. They took the game 13-12, and boy, oh boy, that was a roller coaster of a game. The Astros led 3-0 in the second inning in the top half, and then the Twins end up tying the game in the third inning. Jose Miranda, they could not seem to get out in this series. He tied the game 3-3 with a solo home run. Miranda then gave the Twins a 4-3 lead with an RBI double. Then here come the Astros. They tied the game at 4. They go up 6-4, 7-4. The Twins make it 7-5. And then the Astros' big 8th and 9th innings make the game 13-5 after Alex Bregman's 3-run shot in the 9th inning over the left field fence. And then the Twins in the bottom of the 9th respond. Byron Buxton knocks in a run. Lee, their rookie who recently got called up, knocks in a run. And then Vasquez hits a ground rule double. And then Carlos Correa off of Josh Hader, who had just been brought in the game, hits a grand slam. The Twins make it 13-12, and then Hader gets the next batter on a strikeout in the game. It was a wild game. Pablo Lopez gets the loss, gave up 6 runs in 5 innings, and Sean Dubin went 2 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs in the Astros bullpen game. Their rotation is a nightmare, and Luis Contreras gave up 6 runs in less than 2 innings. He has since been demoted to AAA Sugarland, where he came from. So the Astros got rid of that problem because Contreras was awful in this game. I know Joe Espada was trying to extend him and try not to use Hader or any of his leverage relievers outside of Brian Abreu, but things got out of hand and Hader had to get one out in this game. It is what it is at this point. Astros win. That would have been Friday night's game, 13-12. Saturday was not so great as they lost this game 9-3 in the Twin series to at the time tie the series up at 1. Jose Miranda tied an MLB record with hits in 12 consecutive at-bats as the Twins, as I mentioned, won the game 9-3. Hunter Brown ended his quality start streak at 8. He did go 6 innings, though, but he kind of had to eat this one as he gave up 7 earned runs in the first 3 innings of this game. Hunter Brown kind of had to eat it because of the bullpen day before this game, and we'll still give Hunter Brown credit. He has a 4.48 season ERA, but he went 6 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, gets to 6 strikeouts, which is a positive sign. He's been striking out hitters at a little bit higher of a rate, since this quality start streak began, some 6, 7, 8, and even up to 9 strikeout game. And so Hunter Brown was not good in this game. The Astros end up scoring 3 runs. Bregman doubled into Dubon, and Singleton hits a 2-run homer, which John Singleton has been swinging the bat really well as of late since the Mets series, before the Twins series, the beginning of that 10-game road trip. So that's a good sign to see, as John Singleton has been hot as of late for sure. And so is Cesar Salazar, 2 guys who deserve a lot of credit for the Astros' recent success. And, well, the Astros lost this game 9-3. In the series finale, the Astros let another one slip away. A winnable series against the Twins as they fall in the season series to Minnesota, 4-2. They lost 2 in Houston and 2 in Minnesota. The Astros had a chance late in the 8th inning in this game and failed to score, and they were up 2-0 at one point as Spencer Arrighetti goes 5 innings, 2 earned runs on 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, but only 5 innings. Usually, if you give up 2 runs, pitchers usually last a little bit longer in the game. Unfortunately, he only got you through 5 innings. His mound opponent, Simeon Woods Richardson, bested him with 6 innings of 2 earned runs and 4 strikeouts. Arrighetti threw 101 pitches. Woods Richardson threw 88. He was better than Arrighetti, giving up less hits, the same amount of runs. He was just better, and Arrighetti struggled to get through 5. Arrighetti's starting to worry me a little bit, but maybe this All-Star break will be a good time for him to reset and get things back to where they need to be for the Houston Astros, because with the injuries, everything going on, well, they got to keep riding Spencer Arrighetti. They don't have a choice, and things are just the way they're going to be until hopefully Luis Garcia can get back. I mean, he has thrown a couple of rehab starts. I know he was supposed to throw a bullpen the other day. He has not yet thrown it unless he has thrown it today, which is Friday, but I have not heard anything on any sources on that. So still waiting to see if Luis Garcia throws a bullpen. If all goes well, he's supposed to make his 3rd rehab start after that. So something to keep an eye on as well. And the Astros lose the series to the Twins. Josh Hader comes in the 9th inning. They had a chance to win it in the 8th, did nothing in the 9th off of Twins closer, Johan Duran, the Twins closer. Oh, well, it is what it is. It's in the past. Josh Hader gives up a walk-off homer to former Astro and World Series champion with the Astros, Christian Vasquez, who is having a miserable season to his credit. That brings us to the Astros versus Marlins, which began Tuesday through Thursday, a 3-game series against the Fish after the hurricane. Ha. They played the Fish after, some of the city. Houston was a little bit underwater, not nearly as bad as Harvey, but anyways, it's kind of funny, a little joke there. I don't know if anyone will find it funny, but hey, that's where we're at. They played the Fish. So Tuesday night's game, Ronel Blanco got back on track. He went 7 innings, 2 earned runs with 7 strikeouts, picking up his 9th win of the year. Unfortunately for the Astros, Ronel Blanco is not an all-star, but it's not end-all, be-all. I mean, it's probably better that Blanco is not an all-star for the Astros' sake, so he can fully rest and does not pitch a meaningless inning or even potentially 2 innings in the all-star game. I think Ronel Blanco, his fastball velocity was down in this game, so that's a bit concerning. A little bit of dead arm could be in play for Blanco, and that's what I'm most worried about as Blanco is now racked up. I mean, he's starting to approach career high in innings pitched. He has thrown 103 total after the start on Tuesday, and his career high is right about 125, which was years and years ago in the minor leagues. So that brings us to the rest of the game on Tuesday. The Marlins got the scoring started with the Jazz Chisholm home run in the 1st inning, potential trade target for many, many teams at the deadline looking for a center fielder. Chisholm is under control for a couple of teams. I mean, if the Astros could somehow get a bat like that, that'd be terrific. I doubt they go that route, but nonetheless, Chisholm homers in this one, getting it started. The Astros respond with 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th, taking the lead 2-1. And then Sanchez homers, tying the game at 2 in the 7th, right before Blanco finished the inning. And then Alex Bregman's 2-run homer, who was the leader of the night. He was great in this game to give the Astros a 4-2 lead, and they eventually win it 4-3. Alex Bregman saved this game. He was 2 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs and a run scored, of course, off the home run. Alex Bregman kind of saved the Astros in this one. And then at the time, Josh Hader picks up his 16th save of the year. And the Astros, as I mentioned, win this game 4-3, taking the first game of the Marlins series. As that brings us to game 2, and Framber Valdez was on the mound. And, well, we had good Framber in this one as the Astros smoked the Marlins 9-1. They gutted them, just gutted them all around. Framber goes 7 innings, six hits, 1 earned run, and 10 strikeouts. They dominated this one from start to finish. They scored one in the first, three in the second. No, excuse me, four in the second as Joey Loperfido hit his second home run, one of the highlights of the night. And the Marlins scored their one run in the fifth inning after the Astros already led 6-0. It was a great game. And, well, it was much needed because they were without Yordan Alvarez. So I need to mention also, because I forgot in the Twin series, Jose Altuve was hit in the hands by a pitch on that Friday night game. He was out for the Saturday game, and then Yordan Alvarez was drilled in the knee. Alvarez has been hit by multiple pitches. I believe it's 3, if not 4, since the Blue Jay series. So it's almost, I'm not guilt giving, guaranteeing guys are throwing at him, guilt tripping, whatever you want to call it. But it's a little fishy that teams are all of a sudden have hit Yordan Alvarez as much as they have in the past. So Alvarez has a bit of a sore knee. Now, Tuve's hand is purple, as I don't have a picture of it or anything to share, but he has shared with the media that his hand is purple, but he's playing through it. So another impact to the Twin series, not guaranteeing the Astros would have won the games, but Jose Altuve did not play in the Saturday game against the Twins, and Yordan Alvarez did not play in the Sunday game. So just another thing to note, as they did win this game 9-1 against the Marlins. The Marlins starter, Brian Hoeing, not a great pitcher. He gives up 5 runs, 4 of them earned in 3 innings. And then Declan Cronin, who the Astros acquired for about a month in the offseason, they tag him for 4 runs and 2 1/3 innings as they picked him up and then DFA'd him, wavered him, whatever you want to call it, in the offseason. So he was briefly an Astro during the offseason. Yainer Diaz, 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs in this one. It was an excellent game for Yainer. He's swinging the bat really well as of late as well. As Yordan Alvarez goes 1 for 1 in this game, he left the game early. So just a sign of things, and see if Yordan will play this weekend. I believe he will, but we will see what the Astros do with him. Maybe it's in our best interest to rest Alvarez, maybe on Sunday, give him an extra day off. And then Joey Loperfido, the other offensive highlight, 2 for 4 with a 2-run home run, his second in his young career, as he now has 13 RBIs. That brings us to the series finale, where the Astros get a 6-3 win over the Miami Marlins to complete a 3-game sweep, break out the brooms. They won this game 6-3, as I mentioned. The Marlins took an early lead off a solo home run in the first inning. The Astros respond with 2 in the first, and then Salazar knocks in 1 to make it 3-2 in the second. Jake Myers hits one off the top of the center field wall for an RBI double in the fourth. Alex Bregman knocks in a run, and then Loperfido sac fly makes it 6-3 in the ninth to conclude the scoring. 6-3 in the fifth to conclude the scoring in this one. Jazz Chisholm hit his second home run in the series, but it was not enough for the Marlins. Like I said, he's going to make a team very happy at the deadline. It's a matter of who trades for him, because the Marlins are a very bad baseball team. They're 32-61. I'm kind of surprised they don't have more losses, but that's where they're at right now. 32-61. They're a horrible baseball team, and the Astros take advantage and sweep them as I expected them to. Unfortunately, I did not make a video, but this is where we're at right now. The Astros sweep the Marlins, and, well, that's where it is going to take us. Move on to the Astros versus Rangers series, as they have played 7 times so far in 2024. The Rangers early in the season took 2 out of 3 in Houston. They took the first 2 games, as I'm giving you a little recap of what's going on, because it's the Battle of the Silver Boot, the state rivalry, and it's an incredibly important series as the AL West standings look. Houston is 49-44, 2 games back of the 52-43 Seattle Mariners. And then the Texas Rangers have the opposite record of the Houston Astros. They're 44-49. They are 5 games back of the Astros and 7 games back of the Seattle Mariners. So The Rangers won game 1 of the Battle of the Silver Boot 10-2. They took game 2 7-2. And then in the last game in Houston, the Astros took game 3 3-1. The Astros then respond. The first game, game 4 on April 8th, the Blair Henley game, where that was a nightmare, but they managed to score 10 unanswered runs and win the game 10-5. The Rangers take game 2 of that series 12-8. The Astros respond with a 9-2 victory in game 6. And then in game 7, the Astros win 8-5. So that brings you to the tally of the Astros lead the Battle of the Silver Boot 4-3 on the young season, as there are 6 games remaining. So by the math of it, they will play 13 games, and there has to be a winner because it's not an even amount of games. So this is an extremely crucial series because, well, it's not just the Battle of the Silver Boot. It's also, well, I mean, it's obviously an important series, not just because it's a Silver Boot. It's a division rivalry, and we all know what comes with that. There could be some bad blood, as there was in the previous series, and everything else to go with it. So it's going to be an interesting series and whatnot, and we'll see what comes about it. Brings us to the Friday night pitching matchup, Astros versus Rangers, Battle of the Silver Boot, as I mentioned multiple times. The Rangers, a quick little review, 44-49 the record, third in the AL West, versus the Astros, 49-44, second in the AL West. A battle of southpaw Andrew Heaney, who's 3-9 with the 3.80 ERA on the year and 90 innings pitched. He has 92 strikeouts. Versus Astros right-hander Hunter Brown, 6-6 with the 4.48 ERA, 92 and a third innings pitched with 100 strikeouts on the year. And as I pull up, and first we're going to start with Andrew Heaney's recent game logs to show you how he's pitched recently. His last couple of outings, he went 5 1/3 against Tampa Bay in a Rangers win, 3 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. And then in his previous start before that, it was another good outing. He went 7 innings, 2 earned runs against the Baltimore Orioles with 10 strikeouts. So he's had back-to-back good outings. He has a good ERA on the season, but the wins have not come, and he's piled up some losses. So the Rangers, as you can see against Milwaukee here, he only gave up 2 runs in 5 innings, but the Rangers lost the game 3-1. So he picked up a loss that, if you only give up 2 runs in 5 innings, to me, you don't really deserve a loss in that game, but it wasn't enough for the Rangers to win the game. So, I mean, I don't feel bad for the Rangers, don't get me wrong, but Heaney pitched pretty well and got the loss. So his record is probably not what it should be. He probably should have a couple more wins, but nothing you can do about it. He is 3-9 on the season. You can't change the past. That brings us to Hunter Brown's recent games. As I mentioned earlier in the video, he kind of got smacked around by the Minnesota Twins. Well, not kind of. He got smoked early in the game, but he was able to finish 6 innings, which was a huge boost. He's 6-6 on the year, as before his ERA skyrocketed a little bit, almost half a point. His ERA had gotten down to 4.07, so Hunter Brown looking to get back in the win column and get back to his quality start consecutive streak, which was at 8 before the Twins start last Saturday. So Hunter Brown, these 6 innings, 7 earned runs, striking out 6. As I mentioned earlier, his strikeout numbers have been better a lot as of late, 7, 7, 9, 6, 7, 5, 6. So Hunter Brown getting those strikeout numbers up, and it's correlated into wins. He had won 5 consecutive starts before the loss against the Minnesota Twins. So something to keep an eye on if Hunter Brown bounces back, or is Hunter Brown going to struggle in his start tonight on Friday night? We're going to find out here in the next few hours. That brings us to Saturday. It will be Nathan Eovaldi, the veteran right-hander, against Astros rookie Spencer Arrighetti. Nathan Eovaldi is 6-3 on the year, a 3.10 ERA and 87 innings pitched, and he has 85 strikeouts. Eovaldi was dealing with some injuries early in the year, but he's been able to come back. And of course, because he's with the Rangers and he's been a pretty good pitcher the last few years of his career, kind of bounced around early in his career, didn't quite figure it out. But the last 4 or 5 years, he's been a really good pitcher, and I expect him to pitch another 5+ years because Eovaldi's a really good veteran, and well, he's surely pitching like it. And his mound opponent, Spencer Arrighetti, 4-7 with a 5.96 ERA, 74 innings pitched, 82 hits given up, and 86 strikeouts. Arrighetti's been up and down as of late. As we're going to go to Nathan Eovaldi first, his recent games are up on the screen. He's had 3 consecutive starts of at least 7 innings, and he's been pitching pretty well as of late. His last 2 starts, the start before that was not great, but the one against Kansas City was. So 3 out of his last 4 starts, he's been really good. And as I mentioned, his record's 6-3. So he's given the Rangers at least 6 innings and 4 consecutive starts. And that's what he does. He's not just an innings eater, but he's an extremely quality pitcher, definitely capable of shutting you down, as he shut the Astros down in the postseason last year, unfortunately. But Eovaldi can definitely be had. The Astros have had some success against him in the past, but at the same time, Eovaldi has had success against them. So I'm interested to see in Saturday afternoon's contest which Astros team will show up against him, because they've had some success when he was with Boston, but more times than not, he has, at least in my opinion, gotten them as he's been with the Rangers the last couple of years. So that brings us to Arrighetti. Like I said, he's been up and down, especially as of late. 2 earned runs last start, then it was 6, then it was none, then it was 3, but only in 4 1/3 innings. And then the start before that, he was shelled against the Detroit Tigers. So a couple of bad starts in there, a couple of okay starts, 1 decent, 2 good. So it's just been kind of decent for him. I mean, he's Spencer Arrighetti. He's a rookie. It's going to come with struggles, and you just don't know which guy is going to show up on the daily. And hopefully on Saturday they get good Arrighetti so he can maybe take some momentum into the All-Star break, and then coming out of the All-Star break, whenever he makes his first start after that, I don't know if it'll be in the Seattle series or the second series coming out of the break, but in my opinion, he should probably pitch in that second series, because if it were me, I would pitch in, I'm not sure what order, but in some kind of order, Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and Ronel Blanco in that highly important series against the Seattle Mariners in Seattle, coming directly out of the All-Star break. And that brings us to Sunday, where Ronel Blanco will take the mound. He's 9-3. Well, we think Ronel will take the mound. I haven't seen anything official, but we'll see if it happens. Ronel Blanco, 9-3, a 2.53 ERA, 103 innings pitched, 95 strikeouts, and the Rangers are undecided who their pitcher is as of right now. And some quick offensive numbers. Seager having a solid year, 17 homers, 269, and 45 driven in. Josh Smith, who has really helped kind of save their season. I mean, they're under 500, but where would they be without Josh Smith? 295, a 389 on base percentage, and a 456 slug. He's also got 8 homers and 36 RBIs, filling in for the season, filling in for who was their starting third baseman at the beginning of the year, Josh Young. He's been out for a good chunk of time this season. And then Marcus Semien, their RBI leader, with 50, hitting 235. His batting average is way down, providing a good amount of RBIs, but he's hit well against the Astros since becoming a Ranger, I believe, for 3 years now. So we'll see if he can continue that, or maybe it's been 4, I forget. But Marcus Semien, for the most part, has been a thorn in the side of the Astros, especially in Minute Maid Park. Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez for the Astros side, tied for the team lead with 19 homers. Alvarez is the team leader with 51 RBIs, hitting 297. And, of course, Jose Altuve, your team leader in batting average at 306. So those are some of the offensive numbers. And then we go to Ronel Blanco's pitching numbers as of late. His game logs, he was great against the Miami Marlins last time out. He was good enough against the Toronto Blue Jays, and then he got rocked in the start before that against the Mets. giving up the 6 runs, 3 of them earned. But then before that, he had 3 outstanding starts in a row and wins against the Giants, a win against the Tigers, and a win against the Baltimore Orioles. And so that brings his record to 9-3 with his most recent win, as we expect Blanco to pitch on Sunday against the Miami Marlins on Tuesday. So the concern for Blanco is hopefully his arm, he doesn't have a little bit of dead arm, as he's going to reach a career high in innings with probably about 3 more starts if he pitches 6, 6, and 6 innings, and then maybe a 4th start, he'll reach a career high in innings. And that's the concern with Blanco. And then some injury updates. Victor Caratini has been sent to West Palm Beach to begin what we believe is a rehab, and hopefully I doubt he'll be back for the Seattle Mariners series, but I could see him back shortly after that, which the Seattle Mariners series begins in a week from today. And then Kyle Tucker has finally started some baseball activities. I don't think he'll be back for the Seattle Mariners series. We don't have anything official, but I could see Kyle Tucker being back sometime the week after that, maybe the weekend after. So some potential finally good news on Kyle Tucker. And then Justin Verlander is throwing a baseball every other day, roughly, but he's still probably 2 to 3 weeks away from being back with the Astros, probably leaning towards the side of 3 weeks. And so maybe by the end of the month, you have Justin Verlander back. And then Luis Garcia, as I mentioned earlier in the video, he's supposed to throw a bullpen. I thought it was supposed to be yesterday, and then maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow. They say there's nothing wrong. I think they just want to put kind of a halt, make sure his arm is okay, because Tommy John is the worst injury you can potentially come back for. So not necessarily bad news, but a little unfortunate news. As long as he's healthy, that's what's most important. But with Luis Garcia, you've got to make sure he's healthy, and hopefully you still get him back by the end of the month. And then the dreading news, Lance McCullers was shut down from whatever program he's even on. I don't know. He's just in commercials these days and opening up a coffee shop or something like that. Look, I'm not knocking on him. I just don't expect Lance McCullers to pitch this year, and he may have thrown his last pitch in 2022 ever in an Astros uniform. If it were up to me, I would extremely advise him to retire, because all he's doing is messing up his arm further and further and further at this point, because the guy's injury prone. There's no other way to put it, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I wish the best for him. He's an Astros legend, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not. At this point, Lance McCullers, he helped you win in the 2017 World Series, where he drove in a run in Game 7, if you can remember that far back. And he's a big reason you got to the World Series, because he kicked the Yankees' ass in Game 7 of the 2017 ALCS. And then he helped you out in the 2022 postseason as well. And the Astros won that World Series as well. He's a 2-time champion. And so best of luck to him. But it may be time to cut ties, and I think it's time for him to retire. Do I think he will retire? Probably not. I think he at least gives it one more go. But I don't know if he'll ever pitch for the Astros again. That's just my opinion on the matter. I would retire if I were him, and we'll see what happens. I think he's hell-bent on, I want to pitch, but is that really the best scenario for both sides? It might be time to cut ties and turn your attention towards a bunch of other pitchers, maybe sign a pitcher in the offseason instead of, oh, maybe McCullers will pitch, maybe he will. Well, it's a long time for maybes of, yeah, we're going to get him back. Oh, no, another setback. He's just the setback king, if you ask me, but that's another topic for another day. Do you think Lance McCullers should retire? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. So that's going to do it for the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. As I took a little break, with the storm, everything's good here. But if you're watching all the way to the end, I encourage you to do so. Like my video, comment down below. Let me know what you think about Lance McCullers. Should I do a trade deadline edition of Clark Crawford Sports going all through the trade targets for the Astros and whatnot? Go through all the rumors. Let me know down below. And of course, subscribe. I'm getting closer and closer every day to 200 subscribers. Help me reach that goal. If you aren't already subscribed, help me reach that goal of 200 subscribers. and I'll see all of you in the next edition sometime next week. I don't have a date set because the All-Star break starts officially Sunday afternoon when Sunday's game concludes. I'll probably have some kind of episode out early in the week. I don't know yet. And then, of course, I'll have your Astros versus Mariners series preview coming next Friday. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you in the next edition of Clark Crawford Sports sometime this next week.